Hi guys, in today's video we're checking out one of the most commonly used wireless in-ear monitor systems. This is the Shure PSM300 series. This is very common because it's at an affordable price for most musicians. It has the Shure name, which of course it's a great company, and this is their entry-level wireless in-ear monitor system. Overall, this is a great system, especially an entry level to wireless in-ear monitors. I think it's great. I'm going to show you the specs, how to set it up, how to use it. It's fairly basic. There's not a whole lot of features with this one, which most people don't actually need. They don't need all the bonus extra features that the higher, more expensive wireless in-ear monitor systems come with. It's a great system. I'm going to review it, show you how to use it, go over the specs and stuff like that, and see if it's right for you. So before we get started, I post videos like this all the time, stuff on wireless, in-ear monitors, MIDI programming, backing tracks, lighting, stuff like that. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified when I put out new videos. Also, if you find this video helpful, hitting the like button is a free way to support the channel. All right, let's get started. So before we get started, this is not a video on how to use in-ear monitors and how they work. I did a whole nother video about that, in-ear monitors for beginners. So if you're brand new to in-ear monitors, watch that video first and then come back to this video to see if this system is right for you. Get the understanding of wireless in-ear monitors first and then come back to see the review on the system. All right, so the setup on this is pretty simple. So first you want to plug the antenna in the back here. And they do have a rack mount system that you can get if you do plan to use this in a rack. But for now, I'm just going to set it up like this. Plug in the power in the back. And then here in the back, you have your in and your outputs. So if you're deciding just to get mono, you can actually just go get one input. And I actually honestly use this in mono most of the time, but it's up to you if you want to get stereo. If you do need stereo, you do need to get both left and right in. Wherever you are getting signal from, so if that's an in-ear monitor system or a front of house system, that signal is going to plug in here. This loop out feature, I explained that in another video. I'll have you watch that, but that's basically if you want to go in and then send a signal out, which can be beneficial. So what I've done before is I've ran vocals into left, and then I've ran the full mix into right, and then I pass through the vocals so that it goes to front of house for mixing. So that way I always have my vocals and I have control over my vocals in my ears if I want. And I'll show you how to change the balance between left and right. So that's a plus, but check out that video if you're interested. And then you have this, you have your mono or stereo. Are you getting mono or stereo? So you want to set that accordingly. And is it a line or aux signal that you're getting? Most of the time you're going to leave that on line with this system. Turn it on and you're ready to go. So this is what lives on you. This is your receiver. So it takes 2 AA batteries. Once they're in, twist the knob, lights up. And that is basically it for just the setup. I am going to show you how to scan and sync here and all the settings in here in just a minute. Okay, so just going over some of the specs really quick. So this is from their website. So the range is about 300 feet, which is great. That's plenty of range that you're going to need, especially for this type of wireless in-ear monitor system. It's awesome. The RF tuning bandwidth, if you're not familiar with what that means, I did a whole video of what to look for in a wireless system, and that video goes into more detail about this. But basically, the wider the RF tuning bandwidth, the more frequencies it has to find that you can transmit on a clean channel. But the wider the RF tuning bandwidth, the more channels you have available to find a clear signal. This one has 24 megahertz of RF tuning bandwidth, which is good. I mean, you can definitely get more, but that's part of the reason why this is an entry-level one. The frequency response, it says this in the manual, is at 38 hertz, which is pretty specific. But you don't need anything below that anyways in your in-ears. Up to 15 kilohertz, you don't need anything that high anyways. In my opinion, there's no tone loss or anything with these. Keep in mind, most of the time, the tone that you're hearing depends on the in-ears themselves, not so much on the system. So just keep that in mind. So there are 2 different versions of the PSM300. You can get it with the P3R Body Pack and the P3RA Professional Body Pack is what they call it. The one I have is the P3RA, so that's the nicer one. There are a couple of different features on it. You can pause on the screen right now if you really want to see the differences. The P3RA is just a little bit nicer and a little bit more rugged. So I would definitely recommend the P3RA if you're going to get that one. It's only a little bit more, and I'll cover that in pricing. But both of them have slightly different earbuds. So the P3R has the SE112, and the P3RA has the SE215. So you get a little bit slightly different earbuds. Both of them I think are good. The SE215s are definitely better. So both of those earbuds are single driver in-ear monitors. I usually do recommend getting dual or triple drivers. If you aren't sure about what that means, check out a video that I did on some cheap in-ear monitors that I found from $20 to $50 that have dual up to 5 or 6 drivers in them. So remember that tone is determined mostly by the in-ear monitors, the earbuds themselves. So if for some reason you're not happy with these earbuds, check out that video, or just go ahead and check out that video if you want to get like a backup pair of in-ears. That $50 pair I use as my travel in-ear monitors. You don't have to. These Shure ones are still very nice. Just something to keep in mind. Check out that video if you're interested. And the battery life, it says up to 6 hours of continuous use from 2 AA batteries. 6 hours is plenty. You're not doing any 6-hour shows. I highly doubt any of you are doing 6-hour shows, so that should be plenty. All right, so to scan and sync the two of these together, this has one of the easiest systems I've ever used. So turn it on, hit scan, and it scans that quickly. It does scan very fast. And it says sync now. Push the sync button right here. Put these two next to each other. It does a crazy flash, and now they are set to the same channel. Super easy. It's about as quick as it gets. So I'm going to show you the settings on the transmitter and the receiver, but I just wanted to show you just really quickly how easy it is to scan and sync these two together. It's very, very fast. All right, so some of the settings on this is pretty simple. So I'm going to show you some of the settings on the transmitter right here. So first of all the way to the left, you have your input volume. So I would start with it at noon. If the signal's too hot, turn it down. If the signal's too quiet, turn it up. I just showed you how to use the sync port. And here's group and channel. So this is how you can manually set the group and the channel that you want to be on. So hold group, and then you can push it and scroll through to different ones. So I'm just going to leave that on group 1. And then channel, you can hold channel, and you can scroll through to a different channel. So let's say I want to go to group 1, channel 7. I specifically want to set it to that. Now I have it set there. Now I hit sync, and it's waiting for the sync. I put my transmitter right next to it, and you can see now it's set to group 1, channel 7 on the screen right here. That's basically it. I mean, it's very, very simple. You can see up here at the top if it's in mono or stereo and line or aux. So if I flip it, it now says that it's in stereo or mono, and then I can do line or aux. And I can switch that up there. You'll also can see the audio signal coming in. So I'm talking into a mic, just a mic plugged into it right now. Check, 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 hey, hey, hey. So you can see where the level's at. If I turn the input gain all the way up, check, 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 hey, you can see that the signal goes up. And then I'm going to set it just to like right there. Check, 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 check. And you can see that the volume is a lot quieter. That's a good way to monitor your input. You'll also notice that my left and right are going at the same time right now. Check, 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 check. That is because I'm in mono. So if I set that to stereo in the back, check, 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 then you'll just see the volume from the left channel. Check, 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 because that's all that I have this microphone plugged into right now. That's basically it. I mean, it's a pretty simple little system right here. Very, very basic. But that's all you really need. I mean, you need to be able to scan, you need to be able to set your volume, and you need to be able to set the channel manually if you need it. All right, so on the transmitter, you can see the group and the channel that you're on. You can see the RF signal strength, and you can see your battery. So pushing this button right here gives you control over, do you want to hear more of what's going into the right input or more of what's going into the left input on this. So that can be really nice. So again, like I mentioned, if you plug in just your vocals into left and then your mix into right, if the mix is too loud and you need to hear your vocals, pan more to the left until your vocals are at a good level. Again, you have that scan feature right here, which I showed you. Pushing this enter button will get you into here. There's not a whole lot that you need to know. You push enter on radio, and it'll tell you what group and channel and what frequency that is. J13 is just the model number and what frequency it's on. So you have G20, H20, and J13. Under audio, so if you push enter, you can set your mode. You can set it to stereo or mix mode. So mix mode is the mono mode. So actually, I did a video explaining how you can do this. You can actually get 2 separate mono mixes from one transmitter. So check that out. So basically, you plug one into the left, one into the right. You set this to mono, and then you pan mix 1 all the way to the left. So you're only getting that one. And then on the other one, you have a different receiver, and you pan that all the way to the right. And then you have 2 separate mono mixes, which is really cool. Going down, we also have an EQ that you can set. So you can set a low boost up by 2, 4, or 6 decibels, or a high boost 2, 4, or 6 decibels. Usually leave that on off. You have a limiter as well, so you can set it on and then set the value of it. So how high when you want the limiter to kick in. And then you do have your balance, but again, you get that on the main menu just by pushing up or down. So pushing enter again, going down, you have the utilities. So the contrast, you can turn the contrast up or down so you can see the screen better. You can lock the panel. So now it's locked. So now you can't do anything. If I try to push some buttons, it won't do it. The way you get out of that is you push exit and then push up and then enter to unlock it. So that can be beneficial if you don't want anyone changing your settings. Battery type, or it says your battery and just the type of and just gives you some information on auto off. So when do you want this to turn off if it's not getting signal? So that can be nice. You have 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour, or you can just always just leave it on. So it's a good way to save battery. Sometimes you forget to turn it off, and you can restore this to kind of its normal settings. But that's basically it. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple. And again, your headphones plug in right there. So with the P3R versus the P3RA, again, I'm using the P3RA. The P3R doesn't even have like this LCD screen with like a menu. You basically just get channel, group, and sync, and you can do a few other things. But the things that the P3R does not do that I just reviewed, it obviously doesn't have the screen. It doesn't have the EQ settings. It does not have the limiter, and you don't get a battery meter. However, you are able to still scan and sync and set the channel, which in my opinion is the most important part anyways. But again, the P3RA does give you a couple more options for only a little bit more money. And speaking of pricing, so the Shure PSM300 model with the P3R one is going to run you about $750, and the Shure PSM300 model with the P3RA, again, the one that I'm using, is about $850. So it's about another $100. I personally do think that's worth it, but again, that really depends on your budget. Both of them will give you the basics of what you need: the scan, the sync, being able to set the channel, and being able to set the volume. Those are the basics of what you need. You do have the options to get the dual pack. So again, remember to check out my video on how you can have one transmitter and 2 receivers and get 2 separate mono mixes if you're interested in checking that out. But the one with the P3R twin pack is going to run you about $1,100, and the one with the twin pack with the P3RA is going to run you about $1,300. My main gripe with this system is that it's a 1/4 inch only inputs on the back. I do wish that it had like the XLR/1/4 inch as an option to go in. I use the Behringer X32 series, and that is an XLR are the outputs that I use to send in-ear monitor mixes. It's not the end of the world. You do just have to get some adapters. So I will post links in the description down below. I do recommend having some of these adapters available just in case you need an XLR signal. Do watch your ears, as far as line and mic level and stuff like that. But most of the time, these adapters usually are fine. And anytime that my bandmates bring these Shure PSM300s to a gig, we always have these adapters ready so that it can go into my X32 mixer. All right, so overall, this is great and easy to use system. I can see why it's a very entry-level Shure system. They give you the very basics of what you need, and this is going to be, what 90% of you need for an in-ear monitor system. You're not going to have a whole lot of extra features that you really need out of this system. Scan, sync, it works. So in my opinion, it's definitely worth it for the price. I definitely think it's a great system. So the most common question that I'll probably get is, how does it compare to the Sennheiser system? The Sennheiser is a little bit more. So the Shure one's about 700, 800. It depends, it fluctuates on sale. Whereas the Sennheiser one is about $1,000. You won't be upset with this Shure model for sure. For sure. I get it. I don't think you're going to go wrong with this system at all. I personally have just decided to use the Sennheiser ones, which the only reason why I mention it is because I'm doing a video on it and it'll come out soon. So don't forget to subscribe to see that video when it comes out. Shameless plug, I know, but I gotta get more subscribers somehow, right? So I hope that helped you guys out. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, just hitting the like button does a ton to help out the YouTube algorithm. So I'd really appreciate it. It's just a free way to support the channel. If you do decide to purchase the system, using the link in the description down below is a free way to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does give me a little bit of a kickback, so I would appreciate it. Thank you guys again for watching. Check out some of my other videos that I've done about in-ear monitors and wireless systems by clicking the link on the screen now. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Scott Ewell Music. If you guys have any other gear you want me to check out or review, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'm always interested in checking out new gear. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.